One of the most powerful demonstrations in my political career of the importance of godly men and women being involved in the process was a part of that same incident about the sexually oriented businesses in Missouri and trying to set restrictions, reasonable restrictions on them. The Supreme Court of the United States has legitimatized those businesses. It has said that we cannot outlaw them, we cannot restrain them, because it has defined them as free speech. As ridiculous as that is, it is the law of the land, and it is now the interpretation of the Constitution, and we have to live with that. But as we tried to put restrictions and limits on their impact on their neighbors and the communities, we fought great resistance. It was the church that changed that God used to change that. It was the church to whom word went out through a number of Christian organizations and directly to some of our pastors and friends, the believers that we know. And they began not only to pray, as we had asked, but we also asked them to contact legislators and leadership especially. And we could see the softening of those positions as calls continued to come in over and over from people that they knew and whose spiritual condition they knew and whose right perspective on life they knew and who they didn't want to disappoint. And I believe God used that mightily in that miraculous turnaround that we saw as we went from an almost certain defeat to absolute victory in the matter of hours. And so don't ever forget that as individuals we have a responsibility to our God as His ambassadors to serve Him in whatever capacity we are, whatever jurisdiction He gives us. And in a government that is of the people, by the people, for the people, government is your jurisdiction because you are an individual. If you don't call me when I'm serving, then someone else will. And many times that's exactly what happens, is those who oppose a right measure or support a wrong measure will make the calls, and the church leaves their phones on the hook. So please don't ever think that your calls, your contacts, and yes, your prayers as well, don't change the hearts of men and women in Jefferson City.